Hey guys, well I hope you kind of sung that song along with the music. I miss I miss our singing. I miss our church. I really do. So I'm here at the church. I just felt the need to come here this time. Okay, here we go. Our lesson this week is on dignity. Dignity, the God-given human condition of having value and worth. We should treat each other. We are taught from day one. I know we tell our kids on a daily basis, don't be disrespectful, don't be rude, treat people with dignity, because we are valued. We are created in God's image. And as dignity as God see it is the inherent value and worth you hold because we were created in his image. So he cares. He not only does he care about us, but he also cares about how we treat other people. So our reading comes from Zechariah chapter 7. Now this is during the 4th year of the king Darius at this time. And they were so accustomed, they have customs of doing these fastings and these feasts at certain times of the year. In this case, it was of the morning. And so they ask, in verse 3, should I weep in the 5th month, separating myself if I have done in so many years? And then came the word of the Lord of hosts. This is what the Lord told Zechariah to say, speaking to all the people of the land and to the priest. When you did fast and you mourned in the 5th and the 7th month, they done this twice a year, apparently, even through those years, those 70 years, why did you do it? Did you fast and you feast because of you or because of the Lord? And when you did eat and when you did drink, did you do it for yourselves? Should you not hear the words which the Lord had cried out by the former prophets? And then here comes Zechariah saying, thus speaketh the Lord, execute true judgment and show mercy and compassion, every man to his brother. And it goes on to saying, to the widow, to the fatherless, to the stranger, the poor, and let none of you imagine evil against his brother in your heart. But did they listen? Of course they didn't. So then God's punishment to them was, he scattered them down here in verse 14. But I scattered them like a whirlwind among all nations that didn't know them. Now let's kind of fast forward here to chapter 23 of Matthew. And by the way, this book of Zechariah is next to the last book in the Old Testament. If you had trouble finding it there, read the whole chapter. Now we come to the chapter of 23 of Matthew. And this is Jesus speaking to the multitude and to his disciples. He's saying, back when you were sitting, with Moses and they would tell you to do things, what things to observe and what things to do, you did it because it was commanded of you. But now he's saying, you don't need to go and call other people rabbi. He's saying, I am the one. I am the Father. Be a master of Christ. Bring your burdens to Christ. Call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven. We should worship Christ, not man. For he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. How many times has Christ was telling his disciples, I am here to be your servant. And it's interesting, it starts in verse 13, but woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites. You have shut up the kingdom of heaven against me. And what he's saying here is you're preventing sinners from coming in because you're a hypocrite. You're doing these things for yourself. And what's interesting is he mentions woe unto you 8 times during this one chapter. Woe unto you, for you don't take care of your widows and the needs of your churches, the needs of this. Woe unto you, because you're out here and you're doing stuff to be seen. It's not from the heart. Woe unto you, for which is greater, the gold or the temple that sanctified it? Which is greater, the gift or the altar that sanctified the gift? What he's saying right here in verse 34 or 24, we've heard this. You strain at a gnat and swallow a camel. During this time, when they would make their wine, they would strain it through what we would call cheesecloth or something, to make sure nothing unclean is in there. Kind of like what we do when we make our jellies and our juices and stuff. What he's saying, y'all take such great care to make sure of this, but this whole big thing out here, this camel, doesn't bother you. But he's saying, woe unto you. He's saying, even ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within you're full of iniquity. Woe unto you. And we've heard this preached about on verse 37. I have gathered the children together, even as a hen gathered her chickens under her wing, and ye would not. How many times has Christ bidded us to come, and so he could gather us in under his wing? He cares about it. He has compassion. Compassion will be on next week's lesson, but he cares about us. And during this time, it's especially important that we do have compassion upon each other. I know we miss each other. I tremendously do. But we have still we are definitely out of our rituals. We are definitely out of our box right now. And that's a good thing. It is. It's a good thing because it makes me, and I hope it does you, appreciate assembling ourselves together. I appreciate being together, laying eyes upon each other, shaking hands, and we may not get back normal like we were for a while, but I am so looking forward to at least we can be together, sing praises together, pray together, listen to our preachers together, and feeling that spirit going from one to another. It's been said, yes, God is everywhere. Yes, you can feel his spirit. Yes, you can be saved at home. And I firmly believe in all of this. I do. I just miss assembling ourselves together, being together. I know this has been short, but I didn't want to really get into the compassionate side. Treat each other with respect, with dignity. I love you all. Looking so forward to seeing you again. God bless you.